Okay, so here at Sail LT, we've been running a series of interviews of people that I call legends, people who've been well established in the class, who are world famous and who everybody knows. But I'm also running a series of interviews with people I'm calling dark horses. These are people who've um, really appeared on the scene, jumped onto the national scene, and maybe people aren't really sure who they are. So we've already had a chat with Craig Bell. Craig did really fantastically at the Windsurfer Nationals uh, just a few months ago in New South Wales, and the team from Western Australia did a fantastic job. And one of that team who did really well, winning the lightweight course racing, was Michael Kilduff, who's sitting in front of the camera there, looking a bit nervous, but you'll be okay, Mike. So
I'm fine.
yeah, so what we're going to do is introduce you to everyone, Mike. So just tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from. We'll start with that. When you start talking, people will realise you're not an Aussie, you're a Kiwi. So just give us a bit of background.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, basically I was born in New Zealand and I grew up in a place called Tauranga, which is on the east coast, a couple of hours south of Auckland. I learnt to sail at about 9 years old. We learnt to sail and then we just do Sunday racing. Then when I got into my teenage years, I wanted to do windsurfing because I could see that it was faster. I thought that would be fun. No, it was some sort of barge, what we called a barge. It was just this huge, big, heavy thing. My first experience maybe was about 10 knots, and I sort of got the feel of leaning back and controlling the sail and the board, sort of fond memories of that going back all of those years.
That sort of started you off on your windsurfing journey, but you've actually been competing in a number of different classes.
A bit of a dream of going to the Olympics or something like that. And so I was like, I've got to give it a shot. Got a Mistral one design, and I did a season of racing on that. The class changed to the RSX, which was the Olympic class, and I did a few seasons of that.
Yeah.
But no, I was nowhere near Olympic level. We had, yeah, I found out what it would take to get there, and too much investment in money and
Yeah,
time, and
yeah. Speaking of Olympians, there, Mike, at that time when you were thinking about having a tilt at the Olympics, had you met Bruce Kendall at that point?
not initially, but of course I knew of him. Very famous in New Zealand, as well as Aaron McIntosh and Barbara Kendall. But
Yeah,
we had Tom Ashley, who ended up being the 2008 gold medalist.
yeah,
But also at the same time, Barbara Kendall
yeah,
was racing. She was
yeah.
still racing, and so yeah, I got to race against her.
So I guess that, yeah. So then the RSX, you sort of realised that you weren't going to quite have the time to commit to that. Did you stop windsurfing at that point, Mike?
No, I kept doing it, and I would have been happy to keep club racing, but we had the world champs in Auckland in 2008, and then after that, the group we were all kind of early 20s, and people just lost interest.
Okay, so that takes you into your mid 20s.
Yeah, even towards my 30s, and
Yeah.
then I moved to Perth and starting to become aware of the LT class not too long after that. But I thought race boards were better because they were faster, and I honestly didn't appreciate how fun it is to sail an LT. And I didn't know that, but of course we had the Perth World Champs for the LT in
Yeah.
2023, 24, and I thought, well, I can't miss that, so I gave it a
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
and heaps of fun, a lot of fun.
Um, and at the Worlds, how did you go?
Yeah, I in the course racing, I think I came fifth. It might have been just behind Jay.
Wow.
Yeah, Bruce Kendall came over and stayed with me during the regatta, gave me a bit of coaching, and then I realized that slalom's really good fun. I like it.
That format is such a great format. The really short races, it keeps everybody very close. You don't have people, dropped off the back. So, high pace, high intensity racing, and it is a lot of fun. So, as you know, we're doing quite a bit over here now, and I think that's a great way to get people into the sport. So that was a pretty good result there, Mike. If you're quite new to the fleet.
Yeah, and the thing that I was probably most happy with overall was that I managed to win a race in that World Champs and the kids
Yeah,
racing, and
amazing.
that was
Yeah,
just the cherry on top. Just a really nice feeling to get one bullet.
that's amazing. Well, that's from such a short lead into the event there, Mike. That's super impressive. So congratulations for that. We definitely took the nationals by storm. We won the West Australians won the super heavyweight course racing, the heavyweight course racing, and the lightweight course racing. And that was without Tim Goulet and Jay Wild at the event. So, we've sort of
Yeah,
got a few in reserve. So I think that came as a bit of a shock to the rest of the fleet. So that just was a fantastic show of how West Australian, even though we're remote, how we've managed to sail together and become fast and competitive. So the class motto is 50% sailing, 50% fun. So, how do we go on that in Western Australia?
yeah, I think the definitely the fun, but nobody takes it too seriously, really. I think we try our best on the water, but everybody's friends out there. It's not all. It's definitely not serious, and I think that's what the good thing about this class is. It's just people are really here to have fun. It's affordable.
Obviously, at Toronto at the Windsurfer Australia Nationals, that was sounds like that was I couldn't go, but that looks like it was a fantastic event. And obviously, you had some very stiff competition there, and you managed to take first place overall in the course racing, which is super impressive. But we are lining up to the next Australia Nationals in South Australia, so hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah, I'm planning on going. I've booked accommodation, and I've mentioned that to my family. That's something I want to do. The thing about the Australian Nationals is it's really, I think I enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed the Worlds. And it's nice. It's nice just to go somewhere close to home.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that they had 140 this year. I think 10 West Australians were in that competition. Next year, I think we're going to be sending 20 people over to the Nationals. And if the other states can increase their numbers as well, we could easily be up well over 150, which that's a pretty sizable fleet.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was going to say, I hope it would attract some international people as well if they were looking for a summer holiday
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
Australia and come down for the Nationals, just similar to what some of our Australians do heading over to Europe.
We don't really have a like an Australasian championship, and I was quite keen on rebranding the Nationals as a international event, but I think it's too late in the planning stages to get that through. But we'd love to see people from Thailand, Japan, Singapore, and I'm sure that we'll get people from those countries. It's still fairly close, so we could even hit the 200. Who knows? Let's aim for that, right? So we've covered quite a lot of ground. Look, the LT has been a global phenomenon. It's has been the fastest growing sailing class in the world. What particularly about it do you really find special?
Well, I think one of the key things really is, and I mentioned it earlier, it's the affordability of it, and that attracts people. I think there's nothing more of a put off than having expensive equipment. Partly the reason the RSX class died out in New Zealand, and we've got a good fleet size. The people are great. One of the things I've loved about it this summer is taking my kids out, and I can take them out. They're young, 3 and 5. I
Wow,
can take them out on the board in
yeah,
a small cut down rig for my 5-year-old, and we can
fantastic,
paddle across the river and rig up his little sail, and he'll
beautiful.
sail it back for us. So it's a good family thing.
It is. Well, the age range is fantastic. You're talking about your 5-year-old son, and then we've got people in their 70s still racing competitively. So
It's great. It's the perfect timing. I think a lot of people probably who did windsurfing back in the 80s, they may have gone off doing other things, but now they're at the age, the 50 to 60-year age
yeah,
group. They're
exactly.
back in, they've got time to do it. It's just worked out perfectly.
Well, you're certainly sailing against some of the best LT sailors in the world with Tim and Jay, and Craig did fantastically. Galvo. Mike Galvin, Tina Harrison. I mean, Tina's in right amongst it. So yeah, we've
Yeah,
really got a really nice, fast group of sailors. And okay, Mike, well, thanks for your time. It's been great hearing your story. So when people see you at the bigger events now, they'll know a bit more about you. And really appreciate you talking to Sail LT. So we'll catch you later.
my pleasure. Thanks.